information, visit CONCACAFNationsLeague.com/tickets.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It's going to be an emotional night tonight for Lakers star Luka Doncic. First game for Doncic against his former team, the Dallas Mavericks, tonight at Crypto.com. Doncic played his first 6 seasons in the NBA with the Mavericks before he was traded to the Lakers on February 8th for Anthony Davis. This will be AD's first game against the Lakers since the trade, although he won't be in a Mavericks uniform. AD will be on the bench in street clothes. He's recovering from a strained abductor muscle. AD has played only 3 quarters for the Mavericks. In 4 games with the Lakers, Doncic is averaging 19 points and 5.8 assists. 7 p.m. tip-off tonight. If you don't have a ticket, you can catch the game live on TNT. The UCLA women's basketball team moved up to number 2 in this week's Associated Press Top 25 poll. Texas is number 1. USC is 4th. UCLA and USC are a combined 51-3. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Who cares about the black community in Altadena? We do. On Saturday, March 8th at 10 a.m., it's the premiere of Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr. This new weekly show will explore the deep roots and resilience of Altadena's black community as we track its recovery and reimagine its future. From relief efforts to rebuilding, we're raising up voices, stories, and solutions to build back Black Altadena better and stronger than ever. It's Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr, every Saturday at 10 a.m. beginning Saturday, March 8th, with an encore presentation, Sundays at noon.
James Farr, the man who is the voice for Black Los Angeles.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Come to
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah,
Gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need.
Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power. Fight the power.
Fingers start shaking. I begin to run. Bullets start chasing. I begin to stop. We begin to wrestle. I was on the top. I want to thank you for letting me be myself again. Thank you for letting me be myself again. Slip on in the collar, look me in the face, chit chat chatter trying, stuff me in the face. Thank you for the party.
So David Allen Greer and I were just talking about Sly. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit more on the air. That was off air, but he sounds good. Always does. I've been waiting on this conversation for a long time. I'm a huge fan of his, as are every one of you, and I'm delighted to have him in studio. It's been a long time coming. I've been trying to get this Negro on here for a long time, but I'm glad he's finally here. Before I do anything, let me just suggest that we are approaching the 35th anniversary of In Living Color. Some of you saw at the Image Awards. I didn't see it, but I heard all about it. At the Image Awards, they honored the Wayans family the other night, gave the entire family an Image Award, and certainly they've earned that. The Wayans have just been amazing and brilliant. with the work they've done individually, collectively over the years. So the Wayans were honored the other night, but we are approaching, believe it or not, makes me feel old, 35 years since In Living Color. So you can't talk to David Allen Greer before you get to St. Denis Medical. You got to go back, man. So I'm honored to have him here for the hour for a career conversation. He has another hit on his hands. We'll talk about St. Denis Medical, but you got to start with some In Living Color.
And now Public Access presents Men on Films.
Hello, I'm Blaine Edwards. And I'm Antoine Merriweather. And welcome to Men on Films. We're going to be reviewing the latest films from a male point of view. First up is that controversial movie, Do the Right Thing. Now, I really like little Spike Lee's courage in making this film. I especially like the way he mixed the racial tension with the violence in order to give his message, do the right thing. Come on out the closet. Don't be afraid to be who you is. Black, white, or whatever. Ain't that the truth, Ruth? Now I'd like to talk about an exciting new film, Karate Kid Part 3. It's all about men working out their problems in a very physical way. It was all so primitive. And you know, I really enjoyed Mr. Miyagi, played by little Pat Morita. Ooh, and that Ralph Macchio. 3 words, fabulous. Boy, I hope I look that good when I'm 40. Stop. But I have to disagree. I disagree. There's just too much violence in this movie. Don't get mad. You better give me back my scarf.
I'm sitting there laughing my behind off. That stuff was so funny. All these years later, first of all, it's good to see you, David Allen Greer.
How you doing, Tavis?
Man, I'm doing well, man. If I complained, I'd be an ingrate. I am doing well, and I'm all the better for you coming in to see me. So thank you.
It's
I know
good
you're
to
busy,
see you
man.
Again.
It's good to see you again. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yes.
When you hear that, all these, I can't stop laughing. When you hear it all these years later, like, what do you think, man?
First of all, I never thought we'd be talking about it.
Yeah.
At this time, so many years since it has been on. When we went off the air, I figured, well, I can probably headline in comedy clubs for maybe 18 more months, and that'll be that. There was no YouTube. There was no social media. We had, what else? VHS video machines. That's a part. So the technology.
Yeah.
You know, I did a play not too long ago, and in the dressing rooms, all the actors had their favorite In Living Color sketches queued up on their laptops.
Yep.
You know, so I never, but I mean, you could play it on your phone.
Absolutely.
That technology did not exist back then, so I could not have projected the longevity that people would still be talking about it.
How do you situate that show, those skits, those sketches? How do you situate that stuff in your body of work?
It's significant, and because that's probably the show that most people know me for. It's not something I try to deny, negate, or put down. You know, I've seen actors who you get really famous off of one role, and you're like, you know, I'm more than the crossing guard. Okay, Tavis. You know,
what's funny? He's my friend, maybe your friend as well. I sort of feel that way, although he did ER. I feel that way about Eric LaSalle when it comes to Coming to America. I've always gotten the sense that he is so over that character, and people walking up to him all these years later talking about that character in Coming to America. That's my sense of it.
But it's love. You know,
true.
so I think more than that, I always thought it's on me as an actor and an artist to make people either reframe what they feel I'm capable of, or make them forget what I did by what I'm doing. Yeah. So that's kind of what I've tried to concentrate on, as opposed to, you know, my press person come at Tavis. You don't ask David about In Living Color. He wants to talk about the table read he's doing downtown. Yes. You know, I don't really do that. So and also it's love. It's nobody comes up to me and says, "Hey man, I just want to stop and tell you I can't stand you, man. Yeah. I don't like you." You know what I mean? So okay, have a great day.
No, it's all love.
People don't do that.
Now I'm laughing because if you only knew how many times I've been at this 30-some years. I think I wouldn't call myself the GOAT, but I'm pretty good at this.
Well, you know what you're doing.
Exactly. And you'd be amazed, even all these years later, when folk try to tell me what I can and can't ask.
Amen.
What I can't. First of all, I'm never going to embarrass you. My job is to make you look your best, right? I want to put a spotlight on you. But people will try that.
But here's my thing.
Yeah.
My rule is you ask me any question you want, and I'm going to answer any question I want.
That's exactly right.
Okay? So
that's
the
it.
way it is.
I love it.
And I know what's in my closet. You're not going to be like, when you tried to take out the whole planet.
Yeah.
Why, David? Why?
I love his candor. I love his honesty. I love his transparency. It's going to be a great hour with David Allen Greer on Tavis Smiley.
From Lamert Park with love, this is Tavis Smiley.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
There's new reaction following the Trump administration's sweeping efforts to cut the federal workforce.
Fired but not forgotten. The Testimony Project. Bearing witness, breaking silence, building community. KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to amplifying the voices of black federal workers impacted by the mass firings. Rooted in the black tradition of testimony, this initiative ensures that those who served us are not erased from history. Through firsthand accounts, investigative storytelling, and community-driven dialogue, we intend to expose injustice, preserve truth, and demand accountability. If you or someone you know has been forced out of federal employment due to the mass firings, please contact us at info@smileyaudiomedia.com or via the open mic feature on the KBLA 1580 app. We want to hear from you and share your story. KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and the iconic comedian and actor David Allen Greer, who's now on the hit NBC show St. Dennis Medical. Honored to have him in studio. We were just talking, in case you've tuned in late, about the 35th anniversary of In Living Color. So we started out with that, but I'm honored to have him here for the hour to just kind of delve into this amazing career that he has created. Let me go back to Living Color, one other thing right quick, because you said something that made me think, David. You said earlier you were surprised that all these years later we're still talking about the show. So the show clearly was iconic and game-changing. And yet you, unlike some other folk who we referenced early in this conversation, were not so typecast that you couldn't build a career beyond that. For that, you must be grateful.
I'm very grateful. I remember the first when Living Color had just been canceled, and I was doing Shakespeare in the Park in New York City. And, New York don't play.
Oh, yeah. I've been there many times.
In New York, they'll come at you. Hey, I see Tavis. He's trying to hide with the headphones on like we don't see him. We see you. Hey, man, what you doing on the train? All loud like that. So I said, look, if I can get through a performance without nobody in New York going, I did funny, man. Yeah. I'm trying to, well, what art thou, my lord, my liege? So I did, and I said, okay, all right, let me just ease forward and keep doing my work.
Yeah.
So it's like, I acknowledge it, but I'm not tethered to it.
Yeah.
I want to keep working. That was always my plan. My plan has always been, well, I'm going to bomb you with my presence.
Yeah.
And see if I can secure a spot and improve myself with my ability. You know what I mean? When I was in college, we had a black theater at University of Michigan. They would do one, quote, black production a year. Now, a lot of the kids that were students, they would wait for that one production. I was like, no, man, I'm gonna audition for everything.
Yeah.
Iambic Timbre, I did it. George Bernard Shaw, I did it. I knew I wasn't gonna get in, but I said, y'all gonna remember me.
Yeah.
So after a while, they were like, just put him in, shut him up, just put him in.
I am still laughing at your use of In Living Color and Shakespeare in the same sentence.
Hey, man.
I'm still laughing at that part.
Well, it's funny. I went to a drama school,
Yeah.
and at the time it was very hoity-toity. We were supposed to be trained to become transforming repertory actors, meaning this week you're playing Hamlet, and I'm just, just a journeyman, and next week I'll be playing Julius Caesar.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, that's how Living Color felt. It felt like a company of actors. One week we'd be supporting Tommy Davidson's sketch. Next week they're supporting me. And it was round robin. And that's strangely what I felt prepared for. And there it was. I never would have imagined it.
Yeah. How and why U of M, and what were you studying there?
Well, first of all, I'm from Detroit.
Right.
My father went to the University of Michigan. He was a doctor, and as kids, we would go up. There was a museum there, and we would go up and walk around Ann Arbor. It was really cool. It was about 45 minutes from my house. Number two, my parents got divorced. U of M was very highly rated. We were in-state residents. My mother sat us down and said, look here. Y'all can apply wherever you want.
You're going in-state.
In her words, the University of Uchi-Fatuni, which is a fictitious place, but my black mother said, well, it's real to me. Anytime something happens, well, I don't know who is Travis, Travis or Tavis? Well, it sounds like Travis to me. Where's Travis from? Uchi-Fatuni? I was like, I don't, well, who's his mama? Put her on the phone. So anyway, that's how I got there. It was highly rated. It was cheap, and we could drive there.
And it's a great school.
Absolutely. That's what my mother said. We're not
amazing school.
You're not going to Colorado.
You're
not going to, we wanted to go to Colorado and be, ski. And, she's like, no, we ain't doing that. We're not going to do that.
Tell me about, describe for me the character that Detroit is in your life.
Well, I grew up. I was born in 1956. I think about this a lot. As a much younger man, I thought, well, I didn't do anything special. I just grew up in the house with my mom. But I realized, no, I experienced the 60s firsthand. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. marched in Detroit before the 63 March on Washington. My whole family marched with him.
He didn't just march there. He tried out I Have a Dream.
Absolutely.
Cobo Hall.
Absolutely. We call it the dress rehearsal.
The dress rehearsal. That's it.
The dress rehearsal. But so that tells you I was in an activist family who was aware and participated in that first movement. And so that I was also never told I can't do something. I mean, I was urged, go to college and come out with a degree that can help you. As a matter of fact, my mom said, we're not paying for acting. So what I did is I majored in journalism. I took all my electives were acting. So when I first invited my mom to see a play, it was Othello. And she said, are you playing Othello? I said, no, Mom, I'm playing, Pirate number 2. I was like, there's a message from the galleys, my lord. So my mother came up there, and you'd have thought I was playing Othello.
Yeah.
So it was it was a years-long courtship to try and get my parents to buy in. Now, luckily, my first professional job was on Broadway, and I remember when I graduated, I said, Lord, give me one job. Just give me this Broadway play. I'll be broke for 10 years. Just to shut my parents up, and it turned into something bigger. But that was initially what it was. The prayer, give me this one good job. If it fails, so what? I can tell them for rest. I was on Broadway.
Yeah.
So that's how we started. That's not how we ended.
What's today's date? Today's the 20. So it started yesterday. Speaking of Broadway and Othello, the previews with Denzel playing Othello began yesterday.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I got to go check him out.
Well, I'm going to send Kenny Leon, the director.
That's right, Kenny, my boy.
I'm going to send him a text wishing them well, man. I know how it feels, man. You want to just get in, get on them boards and start trying to actually perform all the stuff we've been working on in rooms and stuff. So that'll be exciting.
So you start on Broadway at this stage of your life. When you look at small screen, big screen, stage, is there a choice?
There doesn't have to be. I mean, I always go back to the stage. I try to do a play, and I have throughout my career. It grounds me. It centers me in a different way. And it's immediate, you know, because that's what I was originally trained for. I did not see the quality and the depth of television that we're producing and watching now. Back then, I wanted to be in movies like, you know, Claudine, we loved, Bingo Long and the Traveling All-Stars, you know, that kind of stuff, black cinema. I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be part of those movies and the type of productions that influenced me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a quick story.
Sure, please.
My daughter's 17 now, but during the pandemic, we started, you know, David Allen Greer's or Daddy's Film Club. So I would take my daughter and we sit down and watch all these films I curated. I showed her Lilies of the Field. Ooh. Now, before I showed it to her, I said, you know, Lulu, this is a seminal moment. I said, this young black man is playing a character that is devoid of stereotype and racism to a certain extent at the time. So we start watching the movie, and after about half an hour, she goes, Daddy, what's so special about this movie? He's just a normal guy. I said, well, that's what's so special, because he's just a normal guy, and he's just going about his life. That was revolutionary at the time. There was no, what Ozzie Davis called it, oofta. Yeah. That was short for bullshit. You know what I mean? So it was wild. It was wild. Well, you got to treat your kids, man.
Yeah. Where did you mentioned that your first professional gig is actually on Broadway? Where did the funny come? Have you always been funny? Always been funny. Yeah.
I was a class clown. I remember I was going to this private school outside Detroit, and one of my classmates, I had to be in first grade. She came over during recess and said, David, this is my friend. She feels sad. Make her laugh. And I was like,
she
so
feels
I'm
sad.
funny to you?
Make her laugh.
Yeah.
So I'm funny to you? I'm funny to you?
Oh, I'm amusing to you.
I just saw that 2 nights ago.
Yes.
Goodfellas.
Yes.
I just saw that. Yeah.
So in that moment, as a little kid, I was perplexed. I'm like, well, why are you bringing her to me? Bro, come on. Clearly. The worst I was at Schultz Elementary School. This had to be 5th grade. I was kicked out of class, one class, 4 times. The class is only 40 minutes. So literally every time, and there was a window, this is old elementary school. So you had this glass window. So she would kick me out. I was doing mime and private, you know, silent sketches in the window. She was like, she pulled the drapes down, and I kept going. So I was a mess. I mean, I apologize to all those teachers I tormented.
It all worked out.
It did.
It all worked out. You reminded me, and I of course I know this, but I'm glad you reminded me that a few years back, you and Mr. Carmichael were on my TV show, and I remember it vividly because there was a little controversy about this particular episode of Carmichael, where the word nigga was being used a couple times. And the suits at the network were kind of concerned about it. And Gerard was like, no, there's a reason why we're doing this. There's a message to the episode. There are any number of questions I can ask about that. First of all, when you look back on that show, which I thought, you know, in its own right was classic. I remember actually having a conversation with Norman Lear.
Yeah, he came to visit.
Yeah, the great Norman Lear, about what he thought of Carmichael. And when Norman Lear says that's high quality content, that's a big freaking deal, David Allen Greer.
Yeah, I think one of the mission goals that Gerard had, it was his show, he developed it, was to bring back comedy on network platform but maintain the politics and the interracial conversations, interracial talking about color.
Yeah.
You know, things that white people or those outside don't really think about. Why do you talk so proper? So-and-so is passing. These were conversations we had.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, all that kind of stuff. And he really wanted to infuse that with those kinds of conversations, honesty and real. There was one episode, I was a Trump supporter, and it was all
I remember it.
And trust me, I've had them conversations. It's like, bro, come on, man, come on. So trying to combine all that. So that was the fun of it. And I felt like it was one of the richest roles I ever portrayed. Literally when my mom chose assisted suicide. And when we performed that episode in front of a live audience, you know, all the black folks were like, don't do it. You know, because I was there crying at the bedside. I was like, Mom, do you really want to? Don't let her do that. Give her a Bible, you know. You know, we didn't really expect that because you're in a room, we're rehearsing our show. We think we know. That's really the beauty of performing comedy and theater. Until you put that final element, which is the audience in, you really don't know how they're going to take it. Yeah. Things we thought were funny, they took very seriously. Things we thought were serious, they bust out laughing. So it's a learning experience. You know what I mean?
Speaking of learning experience, I've asked this question of others, but not of you, so I want to get your take on it. What would you describe as the distinct difference or differences between standing up and making a white audience laugh versus making a black audience laugh?
Well, it's different because a black audience, at its best, we have a common language, we have a common points of reference, and we have a common view. Comedy is taking the most mundane and normal act. Here's how I eat breakfast, but in a unique and funny way. As a matter of fact, when I'm listening or watching comedy, something like that, here's how I blow my nose. Something we all think, I know all about this, I don't want to hear about it, but they come up with a different take. It's hilarious. I never thought of it like that. That is bonding. The disconnect or challenge when, whether you're Asian, performing to a bunch of old white folks or Hispanic, talking to a bunch of old black folks, is crossing that void, maintaining your voice, and making them laugh. The saddest thing is when you see someone who is funny, black audience, funny, bunch of white folks, man, what happened? Now, 9 times out of 10, that performer pulls back. They change. So they're not doing the same act. I'm going to talk different to you, Tavis, because I'm trying to be smart. So, you know what I mean? So you're like, you didn't sound like yourself. That's part of it. I mean, my thing has always been be yourself and give it to them. Whether they like it or not. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to like it much better than if the audience feels like, well, this don't really sound like him.
Not being authentic.
Yes, inauthentic.
No.
I could have talked for another 30 minutes. Wouldn't have got to the word inauthentic.
Well, I'm here to assist as I can.
Thank you.
I'm here to help as I can.
Thank you. That was a mean pass, too, baby. Right under the bus. Inauthentic.
You just get open. I'll get
there
you.
Go.
I'll get you the ball.
He said inauthentic.
His name is David Allen Greer. Of course, you know that iconic comedian, actor. Honored to have him on. He's had so many cameos on show. I was just watching a few weeks ago an old episode of Martin where you played the preacher. Trying to get in Gina's panties.
Leon Lonnie Love.
That's it. I remember that episode. So many great cameos, so many great shows. He has another hit on his hand. It's called St. Dennis Medical on NBC. We'll talk about that part when we come forward with David Allen Greer on Tavis Smiley.
Helping to stretch your moral and political imagination. This is Tavis Smiley.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Howard County, Maryland will use a $250,000 grant from the state's African American Heritage Preservation Program to restore an 1800s building that housed enslaved people in Blender Regional Park. The D.C. government launched a website to help federal workers who lost their job navigating unemployment filing. The UCFE program is for those who lost jobs through no fault of their own and live or worked in D.C. Get more info at unemployment.dc.gov. Karen Huger, star of Bravo's Real Housewives of Potomac, will be sentenced tomorrow in Maryland for DUI and negligent driving after crashing her Maserati last March. Prosecutors are seeking a 6-month sentence. And Washington, D.C. is remembering 88-year-old Grammy-winning singer Roberta Flack after her death. Born in North Carolina and raised in Arlington, she won a scholarship to Howard University at 15. Mayor Muriel Bowser praised her contributions to D.C. and the world. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
The CONCACAF Nations League finals arrive at SoFi Stadium March 20th to 23rd. USA versus Panama, followed by Canada versus Mexico. Get your tickets now on Ticketmaster. For more information, visit CONCACAFNationsLeague.com/tickets.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It's going to be an emotional night tonight for Lakers star Luka Doncic. First game for Doncic against his former team, the Dallas Mavericks, tonight at Crypto.com. Doncic played his first 6 seasons in the NBA with the Mavericks before he was traded to the Lakers on February 8th for Anthony Davis. This will be AD's first game against the Lakers since the trade, although he won't be in a Mavericks uniform. AD will be on the bench in street clothes. He's recovering from a strained abductor muscle. AD has played only 3 quarters for the Mavericks. In 4 games with the Lakers, Doncic is averaging 19 points and 5.8 assists. 7 p.m. tip-off tonight. If you don't have a ticket, you can catch the game live on TNT. The UCLA women's basketball team moved up to number 2 in this week's Associated Press Top 25 poll. Texas is number 1. USC is 4th. UCLA and USC are a combined 51-3. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
If you or someone you know is affected by the Los Angeles wildfires, you are not alone. No matter how sad, scared, or heartbroken you feel, CalHope is here for you and all those affected by the devastating wildfires. Find free, safe, and confidential mental health support at calhope.org.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
May Fresh Daily in the Mert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
All right, Miles, don't you touch that. Let it ride. Let it ride. This is David Allen Greer's jam. Somehow we got into a Prince conversation off air, and I ain't going to get in the way of whatever Prince stories you want to tell me. You can tell me how you met him, tell me about the girlfriend on the phone. Whatever Prince stories you want to tell me, here's your Prince moment. You got a few minutes. Take it away.
So there was a birthday party years ago. I was with a girl I was dating at the time, and Prince, who was known as the artist
at that time. Yeah.
So at one point, one of his handlers comes over and says, the artist would like to meet you. And I said, who are you talking about? Where? She said, Prince. Okay. So we go across the club. There's Prince. We're talking, I'm a big admirer of you. No, I love you, all this stuff. I looked over at my girlfriend. She's crying with a cell phone. I'm like, what happened to you? She said, I'm calling my mama to let her know I'm talking to Prince. That is how cold Prince was. You understand? Yeah. That is how cold Prince was. I said, well, let me just get out the way. But also...
He was a... I'm telling you this, because he and I were such good friends, as you know. He was a huge fan of In Living Color.
Oh, yeah.
He loved that thing.
Oh, we got it. We got it. We heard, through the grapevine. And I performed at one of his clubs during All-Star Weekend.
In Minneapolis?
Yes.
Yeah.
And when I got to town, his then road manager took me on the tour. He said, would you like to go see his studio?
Out in Chanhassen.
Now, back then, it was farmland.
Yeah.
It was out in the boonies. Mm-hmm. And we went over there, and he had a complete costume shop. We could have done Living Color over there.
Yeah.
He had living quarters. He took me all the way through, man, and it was crazy, man.
Yeah.
It was absolutely self-contained. One of these things that people talk about, we fantasize about.
Yeah.
If they say, well, Tavis, what would you like? I'm sure as younger, my own studio, my own facilities, a way to produce work and not depend on anyone.
Yeah.
Prince did it.
Yeah.
And he did it from way back.
Yeah. I was in conversation literally with somebody just yesterday, and I was saying to them that while this is obviously impossible, humanly impossible, I wish that Prince, and there are others I've known in this regard, but since we're talking about Prince, I wish he could have seen the way the world responded when news came that he had made his transition.
Oh, my gosh. We were doing...
I just wish he could have seen.
I was just sad, man. I was telling you, there's certain people I wanted to see old.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see an elderly Prince with them high-heel boots, knowing his bunions and whatnot. Archers fail. He's still teetering on them boots.
Where were you when the news came that he made his transition?
I was on my way to go and tape a show. I was doing Cool Kids at the time. And when I told you, black, white, young, old, he crossed all those boundaries. Yeah. Everybody was sad. I remember the Wardrobe Girls. We all had Prince stories, and it was just really heartbreaking. It took a while, man, because I was like, man, especially the way it went out. And sometimes you just have to love while they're here. That's the only thing you can do, man. We lost so many.
No, I miss him. I miss him dearly every day. So I don't know how we got into that, but in during the breaks, all kind of conversations jump off, and Prince came up, and I said, okay, let's just talk about Prince and play. I said, what's your favorite track? And that's how we got to that song.
Yeah,
and there you have it. David Allen Greer is our guest. I'm honored to have him in studio. As I mentioned a few times already, he's been on so many hit shows, and he's done it again. This one's called St. Dennis Medical. Give me a taste of it, Miles.
Ibuprofen for pain. I hope this doesn't break doctor-patient confidentiality or whatever, but, are you single?
Am I single? Yes, I am. But I make a
Because I really want to set you up with my grandmother. You guys would be so cute together.
I'm not missing out on anyone. I date plenty. My last girlfriend was 42, and she and I got along great. But then she wanted to go back to grad school and get her master's. And before that was a 39-year-old, but she wanted to have kids, and been there, done that. Then it was a 35-year-old, and she was just loud.
She was just too loud,
Hey, man, let me tell you a quick story. When we were on In Living Color, I was married,
Yeah.
Happily married. And when the Fly Girls comes up, and she said, David, I have my best friend who is absolutely in love with you. She's coming to visit from New Jersey. Would you be so kind and come down? I said, absolutely. Now, I know, first of all, this was Deidre Lang. I said, inside, I'm like, Deidre's in love with me. She's trying to use the whole girlfriend thing. So, I'm just entertained. I said, I am married, but I will meet. So, a couple weeks later, Deidre comes back. She said, we're in the green room. My friend's there. Come down and say hi. So I said, okay. I go down there, and let me, with much respect, say that this young woman was challenged, let's say, by nature. And I said, how are you, ma'am? Got to go back to work. I was right out. And so that is Ron. He's thinking what the people can't see on the radio is the woman who's saying, are you single? She's a beautiful black woman. I'm thinking, obviously, she wants some of this. She wants some of Dr. Love. No, she's talking about her grandma, who was played by Lynn Whitfield.
Yes.
So who we know a long time.
You could do worse.
Oh, he thinks he can do better.
That's my point.
Exactly. He's like, nah, she too old. She busted out. Nah, I'm good. Go ahead on, girl. I was too wild for her, all that kind of stuff. Unrealistic, but funny.
For those who have not as yet seen St. Dennis Medical, but will after they hear this conversation, it's a big hit for NBC, and David Allen Greer is the star. Tell me about St. Dennis Medical.
It's about a struggling hospital. Most of it, we're trying to keep these funds up to help the community at hand in Oregon. I'm the one black physician on staff, the oldest, been there the longest, and he's given up. The system has won. Yeah. But he's still a good doctor. And all that stuff I could tie in immediately because you knew that's not who I am, but that's who I know. And we've seen that. When 30 years ago, the most revolutionary, militant, you see him now, it's like, how you doing, Tavis? You going to be in Sunday school? It's like, what happened to you, man? We were marching on the White House, bro. Now you at the church social, that kind of thing. So I definitely could tap into that. His back hurts. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, so I understand the spirit of this character, and I put it on like a glove. It's rare, too. For comedy, a lot of times we'll get, it's just an idea, man. You gonna make it funny. Yeah. No, I'm not, man. Write something funny.
Something funny,
Thank you. And, no, come on, man. Start playing. Go, that kind of stuff. So
for those who haven't seen it, this is radio, so we'll describe it. It's kind of shot like The Office, Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Yeah. How do you describe that? What is that described?
Now you put me on the spot. It's mockumentary.
Mockumentary.
Exactly. Yeah, one thing, they never tell you why they're doing a documentary.
Yeah.
So I went to the showrunners. I was like, we got to do an episode where we explain why.
Yeah.
If it's for public television, I don't know, to raise funds. But I always wondered. Yeah.
I was thinking when you were talking, connecting these dots, about you playing a doctor, and your dad was a doctor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And growing up
in real life, his real life father.
Yes, exactly. And I grew up in a community of doctors, lawyers, dentists. everyone had gone to college, had degrees and careers. So my interest in theater, I was the outlier because they were like, "What? Oh, he wants to join the circus." Oh, Lord. I remember my mother told me when I got into Yale, the Yale Drama School. I was so excited. And I called my mother one day and she said, I had my bridge club meeting yesterday. I was like, "Mom, that's great." All my friends were so excited. My friend Sylvia said, Arita's youngest, David, he got into Yale. And I said, "Well, you must have been happy." She said, "No," because they said, "Is he going to med school?" And I said, "No." And my other friend said, "Is he going to law school?" And I said, "No." My third friend said, "Well, what's he studying?" I bowed my head, Dave. I said, "He's studying acting." I was like, "Why are you going?" "All right, Mom. Talk to you next Sunday." Oh, she was cold. She didn't care.
And I'm laughing because it is only one of the best schools in the world.
Yes, but she didn't care. Not for no acting.
Yeah, but I get it.
Playing. No, she wanted it to be Dr. Lawyer Indians. That's where I was programmed to go. All of my childhood friends went to those schools, and I knew early on that's not for me. Yeah. That's not going to be for me. Of course, they endorsed me and my career once it started going, but they were worried. My mom was worried. She was like, she wanted me to be able to provide for myself.
Such is the burden of being raised in a house.
Of course.
With a father who's a doctor.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't have that problem.
Hey, but let me tell you something. Yeah. A lot of my life has been spent explaining to people, usually of other races, that this was in the early 60s. Yeah. The community, there is not one monolith of what black people are and who they are. We're a bunch of stuff.
That's right.
We are a bunch of different things. And I'm just telling you my upbringing. It's not better or worse. It's just what it is.
And the church said amen.
David
Allen Greer on Tavis Smiley.
From California to the Carolinas, everybody's listening to Tavis. More when we come forward. Who cares about the black community in Altadena? We do. On Saturday, March 8th at 10 a.m., it's the premiere of Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr. This new weekly show will explore the deep roots and resilience of Altadena's black community as we track its recovery and reimagine its future. From relief efforts to rebuilding, we're raising up voices, stories, and solutions to build back Black Altadena better and stronger than ever. It's Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr every Saturday at 10 a.m. beginning Saturday, March 8th with an encore presentation, Sundays at noon.
James Farr, the man who is the voice for Black Los Angeles.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well-trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
This is an ad by BetterHelp Online Therapy. When it comes to relationships, we often hear about the red flags we should avoid, but it's just as important to focus on the green flags. Think about how you want a relationship to feel, one where your boundaries are respected and you're encouraged to be your best self. If you're not sure what that looks like, therapy can help you identify those qualities so you can embody the green flag energy yourself and find it in others. Because whether you're dating, married, or building a friendship, it's time to form relationships that love you back. BetterHelp connects you to a diverse network of over 30,000 therapists worldwide with expertise in a wide range of issues, from depression and anxiety to work and relationships. It's 100% online and sign up only takes a few minutes. Find your green flag energy with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/ABCRadio today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ABCRadio.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
So, you know what that song reminds me of?
What?
Love Should Have Brought You Home last night. This is Boomerang.
Boomerang, man.
As I recall, one David Allen Greer was in Boomerang.
Yes.
A couple classic scenes with you, Eddie, and Mr. Lawrence.
Yes.
Did you see Eddie on the 50th anniversary of SNL?
I was trying to tell you, Eddie Murphy is effortlessly hilarious.
Yeah.
He didn't even break a sweat. I get the feeling like, when he wants to, he just popped that switch and it just comes out very
when he was playing Tracy Morgan,
hey man,
standing next to Tracy Morgan, I was dying.
Screaming. Well, if you ever spend time with Tracy Morgan, hey, how you doing, Travis?
Yeah.
Shout out, KC. I'm up in here. Everybody know me. Brother over there in the booth, he know me. What's up now? It's like Tracy is hilarious. Love him.
When Eddie did Tracy, was standing right next to him. Yep. I was cracking because Tracy didn't laugh either. He didn't break the wall, as they say.
Oh my God!
But I was dying. Miles, you got a little sound. Okay, you can't have David Allen Greer in the studio and not play a little sound for Boomerang. Give me some Boomerang.
She's amazing. She even has pretty feet, this girl.
Oh, yeah? How's the coochie? Man, that is grass.
May I help you? Oh, no, we're okay. We're just browsing.
Yo, look. I'm a realist, right? If the coochie's good, everything else falls into place.
It's more than sex with this girl. I dig her, her spirit and her mind and everything. She's bad. She could be Miss Graham.
Oh, yeah?
You think I'm joking? She's that bad, man.
Marcus isn't allowed. Yo, I'm getting this, Marcus. Step off.
That jacket is $1,800. No refunds.
What, you think I can't pay for it?
Well, there is no layaway plan. Hey, we're okay, Anna. We don't need any help. We don't keep cash in the store. Just sucker, man. Don't even trip on that.
Racial.
Yeah, you're right, man. Don't even trip on that.
Wait, no refund? I mean, what's he think? You gonna take the jacket, wear it, stank it all up to be damned, and then, give it back to him? We can't get over this.
There's a certain group of people. Just a natural fear of black people. They're programmed. Watch.
This is radio, but every one of us can envision that scene right now. Our remaining moments with David Allen Greer when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
This is getting good. Yeah, man. Tavis Smiley continues when we come forward.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found BenefitsCheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. BenefitsCheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer.
Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader, Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
I tell you guys all the time, I leave this studio smarter every day than when I come in. I learn something every day. And what David was just about to tell me, I said, stop, tell me on the air. I did not know this story. We just played a clip of Eddie Martin and David Allen Greer in Boomerang. But you would tell me something I didn't even know.
Well, I mean, I was sitting in the audience, the Image Awards,
Right.
about to give the Wayans family, induct them in the Hall of Fame. They all got it, and I'm sitting there counting the years back.
Yeah.
Robert Townsend and I did Soldier's Story.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first met Robert, I thought he was the most brilliant person I'd ever heard. He was doing comedy and stuff. He told me at one point, "Oh, that's my friend Keenan."
Mm-hmm.
Who's Keenan?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that other bit. Oh, that was Damon. So he told me all about the Wayans. He told me that he and Keenan were going to start their own film studio. They were going to write their own scripts. They were going to do their own movies. Well, I'm like, I done kicked over a pot of gold. I want to be down.
Yeah.
So he really introduced me to the Wayans family in the 80s.
Yeah.
And just thinking about the history and the friendship, how far back it goes and how deep it is. I want to grow old, man. I like getting old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's beautiful.
And I didn't know that you and Martin auditioned.
Oh, yeah. Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock, and myself, we all auditioned for In Living Color together.
Wow.
And went way back. You know what I mean? And so Martin and I've known him longer than that.
Yeah.
And people don't know. Martin was Def Jam before Def Jam was Def Jam.
Oh, yeah.
You understand?
Oh, yeah.
Martin told me one of the first clubs he performed in outside of D.C., this old white woman was a manager. She said, "Don't do all that."
Yeah.
And Martin was like, I got to.
I got to. That's true.
I got to.
Yeah.
So, watching these young artists develop into icons. And while you're doing it, you don't know that's what you're doing. You just want to get put on. I just want to express myself and do work.
Wow.
And you keep at it and you do it right. It becomes iconic. You influence those that come after. And now I can appreciate and receive that love. For a long time, I really couldn't because I just wasn't open to it. I'm still trying to get mine. Yeah. But now I'm kicking up.
Well, breaking news.
Sir.
You and I in that iconic status.
Aye, man.
I haven't even scratched the surface. You mentioned Soldier Story. I mean, your body of work is vast. You've done some amazing work. What I really celebrate is you played so many characters, from drama to comedy, David Allen to Shakespeare. David Allen Greer has done it all, and that's why I said this would be, and it has been, as best I could, in these 60 minutes, just unearth a career conversation with David Allen Greer. As I said 3 times already, now for the 4th time, he has another hit on his hands. It's called St. Dennis Medical. Just picked up. Congratulations on
Season 2, baby. You know where I'm going after this. We're going to the Ferrari dealership.
And I thought you were going to say Disneyland.
No, we ain't going
Go to Ferrari dealership. Season 2.
That is my Disneyland.
He could get another show under his belt that goes for enough seasons to get into syndication. I can hear the money. Ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching. I ain't mad at you. David, I love you, man.
Hey, man.
Thanks for coming in the studio. I deeply appreciate you.
Love our conversations.
Man,
they're deep, they're intelligent, and they're easy and funny. I enjoy it. That's rare.
I loved it, man. I loved it. Just like that, 3 hours gone. Back here tomorrow, Lord willing, to do it all over again. Until tomorrow, thanks for tuning in to Tavis Smiley. And as always, keep the faith.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. Howard County, Maryland, and live or worked in D.C. Get more info at unemployment.dc.gov. Karen Huger, star of Bravo's Real Housewives of Potomac, will be sentenced